The sound of Afrobeats music drifted across Chief Duncan's compound as another party wound down in the early hours of Saturday evening. At 60, Chief Duncan Okoro still lived like a youth. Lucas watched from the balcony of his duplex in his father's compound as the last of his father's guests stumbled out. At 28, Lucas had grown weary of these displays, but he had learned long ago that confronting his father only led to lectures about enjoying life while you can. The old man never changes, Lucas muttered, while pulling the curtains. Lucas had moved into the duplex after his wedding, partly to save money while building his business, but mostly because Nora had insisted they stay close to family. Children need their grandfather, she would say, her hand resting on her pregnant belly. And your father needs family around, even if he won't admit it. That was years ago, when their first son Michael was born. Now they had 4 children, Michael, David, Samuel, and little Grace. And Chief Duncan dotted on them with tenderness that surprised everyone. Sunday morning brought the usual chaos of getting 4 children ready for church. Lucas found himself admiring Nora as she braided Grace's hair with practiced efficiency. Nora owned a spa and beauty suites in town. Your father called, Nora said. He wants us to bring the children over for lunch after church. Lucas groaned. To another one of his exotic parties. No, he said it's just family, Nora replied. After church, they made their way to the main house. Chief Duncan had outdone himself with lunch of jollof rice, pepper soup, grilled fish, and enough food to feed 20 people, though only the immediate family was present. My grandchildren, Chief Duncan said as the children ran to him. Uncle Duncan, Grace giggled, using the title Nora had taught all the children. It had always struck Lucas as odd that Nora insisted the children call their grandfather uncle, but she explained that grandpa was the meaning. During lunch, Chief Duncan told them stories from his youth, his voice rich with the cadence of a born storyteller. Nora, how is business? Chief Duncan asked, cutting into his fish. Growing every month, though, Daddy, she replied, her face lighting up. You are an ambitious woman. Lucas, we are blessed to have such a wife. In my day, women were content to stay home and raise children. Well, times have changed, Dad, Lucas replied. Of course, Chief Duncan waved dismissively. The conversation drifted to the children's achievements as they all retired back home afterwards. The first real crack in Lucas's marriage appeared not with drama but with silence. Nora began working later hours, claiming the business needed her attention. She started traveling to Lagos monthly for supplier meetings that seemed to stretch longer each time. Their conversations became functional. School schedules, household expenses, social obligations, stripped of the intimacy that had once made them inseparable. What's going on? We're not like roommates, Lucas confided to his friend, Dawn, over drinks one evening. It just seems like she's there but not really there. Well, marriage goes through seasons, Dawn replied. You've got 4 children, 2 businesses, and family pressure. Maybe she just needs time. I feel like I don't know you anymore, Nora said one night as they lay in bed. We've become strangers living in the same house. Lucas wanted to protest, but exhaustion had settled into his bones. Building his business while raising 4 children had drained him. He had assumed Nora understood the sacrifice they were both making for their family's future, but he was wrong. Chief Duncan remained a constant presence, always available to help with the children when Lucas traveled for work, always ready with advice about marriage and family that Lucas found increasingly irritating. Your mother and I had our problems too, Chief Duncan would say during their occasional heart-to-heart conversations. But we always put the children first. That's what matters. Lucas nodded, but privately wondered if his father's definition of putting children first was the same as everyone else's. His memories of his mother were shadowed by her quiet sadness, the way she would smile politely at his father's excuses and explanations. By their 15th year of marriage, the pretense had become unbearable. They slept in separate rooms, communicated through the children, and attended social functions with the practiced performance of actors. The morning Nora asked for a divorce, Lucas was reviewing contracts in his home office. She stood in the doorway, wearing the purple dress he had bought for her during their 10th anniversary. We need to talk, she said, her voice steady but tired. Lucas looked up from his laptop, taking in her formal posture and the way she avoided his eyes. About what? About ending this marriage. I'm tired. The words hung in the air like smoke from a dying fire. Lucas had known this conversation was coming. He had been waiting for it, but hearing it spoken aloud still felt like a physical blow. But the children, he began. They'll be better off with parents who are honest about their feelings. Nora interrupted. I can't keep pretending everything is fine. They talked for 3 hours. There were no screaming matches or thrown objects. Just the careful division of a life they are built together. The house would be sold, custody would be shared, and assets would be divided. It was then Lucas mentioned wanting primary custody of David and Samuel that Nora's composure finally cracked. Ha, you can't, she said, her voice sharp with panic. What do you mean I can't? They are my sons, Nora. I have rights. She was quiet for a long moment, staring at her hands folded in her lap. They are not your sons, Lucas. None of them are your children. The words made no sense. Lucas stared at his wife, waiting for the punchline to a joke that wasn't funny. And what are you talking about? What does that mean? I'm saying Michael, David, Samuel, and Grace. They are not your biological children. The room seemed to tilt. That's impossible. I was there when they were born. I watched you carry them for 9 months. Yes, Lucas, you watched me carry your father's children for 9 months. The silence that followed was deafening. You're lying, he said. You're trying to hurt me because you want me out of this marriage. Is that how bad you want a divorce? Nora's laugh was bitter. I wish I were lying. It would make this easier. How? My father, my own father? Do you understand what you're saying? I understand perfectly. I've been living with this for 20 years. 20 years? That means you've been with him from the very beginning? Yes, from the very start. Her voice cracked. Your father approached me when we were dating for just 6 months. He said he wanted more sons, but he couldn't afford the scandal of taking another wife. He offered me a deal to marry you and give him children, and I will inherit half his estate when he died. Lucas sank back into his chair. And you agreed? Lucas, what do you expect? I was 23 years old. I was working 2 jobs to support my mother and siblings. My father offered me security, education, and a future. All I had to do was marry his son and occasionally spend time with him. Occasionally? Lucas thought of all the business trips he had taken over the years, all the times he had returned home to find Nora glowing with health and contentment. He had attributed it to her relief at having him back, but he had been such a fool. Lucas stood up again, pacing to the window that overlooked the compound. In the distance, he could see Chief Duncan's messages pulling through the gates. Does he know you're telling me this? No, this wasn't part of our agreement. I was supposed to take this secret to my grave. So, why tell me now? Nora was quiet for a long time. When she spoke, her voice was barely audible. Because I can't live with the lie anymore. Because those children deserve better than their parents who build their entire family on lies. She paused, taking a shaky breath. They sat in silence as the weight of 2 decades of deception settled between them. Lucas thought of his children, his father's children, and felt something break inside his chest that he knew would never heal properly. A knock on the door interrupted them. Chief Duncan's voice boomed through the wood. We should tell him we know, Nora whispered to Lucas. No, Lucas said firmly. Let him tell me himself. They made their way to the main house in silence. Chief Duncan was in the living room distributing packages of spiced meat to 4 children who had no idea their entire world was about to change. Dad, Lucas said, his voice steady despite the chaos in his heart. We need to talk, privately. Chief Duncan looked up. Not a problem, son, but can I know, Dad, now? They went to Chief Duncan's study. What's troubling you, Lucas? Nora wants a divorce. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And she told me about the children. The change in Chief Duncan's expression was obvious. His shoulders straightened slightly, his hands stilled on the desk, and his eyes took on the calculating look Lucas had seen during business negotiations. This simple confirmation hit Lucas harder than he had expected. Some part of him had still hoped it was all an elaborate lie, a cruel joke, anything but the truth. But why, Dad? Lucas asked. I'm so sorry, my son. I was 40 when your mother died. I looked at my life and realized I had built an empire with no one to inherit it, except one son who hated everything I represented. Dad, I never hated you. No, but you disapproved of me. You still do. And I understood why. Your mother was a good woman who deserved better than what I gave her. Chief Duncan turned back to face his son. But I'm sorry. I was selfish. I wanted more children, more sons to carry on the family name. So you used my wife instead? And you never thought about what this would do to me, to the children? Chief Duncan's jaw tightened. I thought about it every day for 20 years. But I also watch you love those children as if they were your own blood. You can't continue that way. How can you say that? How are you even a father? Lucas asked, his voice breaking. And how would you even be a good father to these children? Chief Duncan's face crumpled slightly. I know I haven't been the father you needed, Lucas. But I can try to be the father they need. But what happens now? Chief Duncan asked. I don't know, Dad. Don't ask me that. Noah and I are getting divorced. The children will be told the truth eventually. And you? What about us? What happens to us? Lucas looked at the man who had raised him, lied to him, and loved him in his own complicated way for 28 years. I don't know that either, Dad. I just need to clear my head and get over all this. That night, Lucas sat in his balcony as he heard Chief Duncan's voice telling the children another story from his youth. Though it seemed like he lost, a part of Lucas was happy that he at least found the truth early. The next morning, he kissed Nora and the children goodbye. They lied to the children that Lucas was going on a long business trip that would last for months. The children were sad as they bade him farewell. Whenever they were old enough to handle the truth, Lucas prayed that they would understand and forgive him. But for now, he's got some rebuilding to do.